This is the Play No Games podcast. We're the hardest working podcast in Portland, Oregon, man.
Play no
Game. Play
no
games.
podcast.
show.
Spider-Man meme. Oh, fuck all y'all. Yeah. Anywho, welcome to the Play No Games podcast / show. And I'm Rob.
I'm Cos.
And I'm Arthur.
And we're back here again to put you on a higher vibration because we want to help you navigate through those social issues.
Wow.
Look here, stop it.
Wow.
And relationship issues because we want to help you build your self-improvement so we can put you on a higher vibration.
Yes, sir.
So, before we get going, I want to shout out. If you want to follow us, shout us out.
Yeah.
Go to our Instagram page at lookhere.fri. You know, fuck off. We're doing this. I'm fucking up. I'm going through.
Yeah.
Please follow us there. Like, comment, subscribe.
Goes a long way.
YouTube, we're on there. Play No Games. And
oh, he's balls deep in your mom.
oh my God. Stop. Why? But I'll just say this. I haven't said this in a while, but donations. Shout out to Dr. Umar Johnson. If you want to help us grow, we need funds. Gosh. And those funds where you can donate is Hero Bob.
Yeah, you don't be paying us. So
you know what? Today's the day. So I don't pay them shit. You know what? I don't pay them a
donate to our Cash App.
Our Cash App.
It is. Wait a second. So Jack. So you know what? We're doing this in front of the guests. So am I not putting money in this? All right now. Yeah. Yes, sir.
We'll be fair to Robert. This is his equipment we're filming with.
You know, and we'll just say this because we don't want to argue in front of company that very, very soon we were all going to get a piece of the pie. Hey, I got to pay myself back first. But
you hear that? You hear that? We all heard it.
Do you want me to lie to y'all?
I appreciate the truth.
Oh, all I'm saying is, we'll just say, in the next couple of years, I would love to write y'all some checks.
Couple years?
Do you want me to lie again? You want me to lie again?
All right, next topic.
Well, it's not even next topic. It's, every son becomes a man, I can't Mufasa this guy anymore. But I think it's time to do.
Yeah, so we got a special guest today. A dear friend of mine, someone I grew up with actually in the Romanian community, in the Romanian church. Not a cult. It is my good dear friend, Mr. Razvan Nanu.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Hey.
Awesome. Thank you for coming on, man.
Yeah.
Say a little bit about yourself so people kind of get an idea.
Romanian immigrant like yourself. Living in Eugene right now with my fiance. Kind of just living life right now. Not really listen to your guys' podcast.
Hey, there you go. Those are the only three things you need.
Man.
I'm not. Hey, you won me over, Hey, you listen to us, so I ain't got no problems with you.
Hey.
Yeah, I got you. So, or do you want to do it?
So we have a segment in the beginning of our show, and it's called Play No Games. And so you kind of it could be anything from society, it could be what's going on with you personally or whatever, and you just talk about you play no games with this, and then you kind of let it out, and we'll either rebuttal, talk about it as well, and then we'll say our piece on how we play no games.
Yeah.
So we on you.
On what I want to play no games about?
Yeah.
What's on my mind that's bothering me a little?
It could be positive or negative. It ain't got
positive or negative.
Yeah.
This is kind of old, but the Allstar weekend was terrible. I don't know if you guys talked about it.
Okay.
Hey, it's a good place to start.
It's 2 weeks ago.
Go ahead,
no.
talk about it. So you don't want to play no games about the All-Star week?
It was. I don't think there was a single event that I was impressed with for it being all right, these are the top dogs in the whole league.
Yeah.
Steph Curry, he gets the pass. Everyone else
That's interesting. Yeah.
It was not great. I went to Buffalo to watch it. Buffalo. Shout out to Buffalo Wild Wings,
Okay.
baby.
Oh, I,
See,
thought you-
yeah.
I was thinking New York. I was like, hold up, you got on a plane like
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
that?
in Buffalo, New York.
Bro, I was about to hate.
No, I was at Buffalo Wild Wings watching it with some friends. Won some money. I did a double bet. I bet Cat would win the 3-point contest and that Obi Toppin would win the dunk contest.
Wow.
I can't hate on that. That's actually really good.
That's a good call.
Yeah,
And you
that's
know
a
what?
good
I was as much as awful as the dunk contest was. Obi won. My guy, New York. I had to pick him. I knew Cat was gonna win. Cat has a perfect shot form for like a off the rack type of jump shot. CJ was never gonna win it. He's too much of an off the dribble guy. Zach LaVine is too slow. Trey I thought could, but Trey is like an in game shooter. I thought Cat had the best just off the rack jump shot. Barely jumps. It's perfect for that. That's how you guess the 3-point contest. If you guys want to make some money.
Never would have expected him to be in a 3-point contest, truthfully.
That's the very first basketball take I extremely agree with him. I have zero complaints about what he said. Like, it makes sense.
Come on, man. You know Jamal agrees with me on basketball stuff.
Hey, shout out to Jamal.
Shout out to Jamal. Oh, I saw Jamal on the street actually.
Fuck Jamal.
And I was waving to him, and he thought I was some freak. I was driving with my dad because we bought a little project on the east side to rent, and I was driving. It's in Jamal's neighborhood. He was taking out the garbage. I now own a house like 5 houses down from Jamal.
Hey.
And I was waving at him, and he just looked at me like I was some. He did not recognize me.
Did he have his glasses on?
He had his glasses, his beanie, everything.
Damn.
Jamal.
Shout out to Jamal.
Yeah, shout out to Jamal. J-Mac.
Well, what about you? What are you playing on games about?
Guys, since our last time, something happened in the world. What is that laugh? This is not a.
I know what he's about to say.
I don't think you do. What I am not playing games with is this war.
Oh, okay.
Oh, what did you think I was gonna say?
I thought you were going to talk about something
You're lucky. I know.
Well,
Maybe there's.
You can talk about it. I thought you was going to keep going.
We'll see, man. No comment on that. How I got Umar Johnson, but nonetheless, what I am playing no games with is
They throwing shots today. Shots fired.
This war going on right now. You know, we got Russia, we got Ukraine coming up against each other. It's getting real ugly. Someone as 2 people from the Eastern Bloc here. We got family back home. We're a little worried about them, thinking about what to do. Have you talked to your family at all since it's
A little bit. My grandma, who I talk to the most, she's in the UK right now, so she's okay for the most part. I was gonna go this summer to Romania, but right now it's kind of like let's not buy the tickets. If we do, maybe buy ticket insurance. I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
My sister has tickets for Romania next month, and she still wants to go.
Oh,
So
wow.
we'll see how that is.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll see how it is.
Oh, she ain't gonna use some therapy powers because that ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
Like, huh?
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. Would you? If you guys have anything to say about it, you can or
save it
not.
I'll save it for the segment.
Oh, you want to do a whole topic on it after too?
Or don't you?
I thought this was a good segment into bringing it in.
We're gonna finish the.
Okay, yeah, we can. Okay, yeah.
So I just just a tad bit before we go really full into it, but I think it's just for me is I don't know too much about it, and so I think that's my curiosity on the war as a whole. I know it's a lot of built-up frustration over the years and stuff like that, and I'm nervous on the process of where it can go from here, right? Like, say Ukraine gets wiped out or whatever the case may be, other parties are jumping into this this already chaotic war. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's my but we'll talk about more into that.
I can go more into depth. I know an okay amount about it, so I can educate the people.
What I'm saying for me, I think I'm gonna save mine for the part where we talk about it, but I will just ultimately say 2 right off the bat, and I'll say this at the top of the segment too as well. I don't know a lot. I know a little bit about stuff, but I definitely want to hear some stuff because I know you're tapped in, and my thing is I just want to make sure that I'm hearing everything's out because I feel like there's a lot of things that the media misconstrues, and I'll save this bit that I definitely touched upon, but I would say I want to have more of my listening ears on for this one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it, boys.
So what you playing no games about, Robert?
Actually, this is a pretty emotional. I'm not going to play no games about. I can't tell all you lovely viewers about this, but I had a very interesting therapeutic experience today, and I just wanted to share with everyone, because you don't have to be, a therapist to do this, but how you talk to people and how you interact with them really does a lot. And I will say does a lot is you don't know how much a smile or how you're doing really affects someone's life. So I just want to let all the listeners know, if you listen to us beyond the jokes and things like that, no matter where someone comes from, race, creed, gender, denomination, that if you meet someone with kindness, you're doing a lot more to their lives than any dollar could. Because in this day and age, like, to be really seen is a superpower. So see as many people as you can and acknowledge that people exist.
That's nice. That's nice.
I don't even know what to say after that. You kind of just put the cookie on the platter and gave it to people. That's my best way of thinking about it. You got anything to say to that?
To that, I think that's a really nice message. I think
Very nice.
as I'm getting older, I'm realizing like the little things are what matter, because I'm realizing myself caring about it more. So like when someone, like you said, says hello, shakes your hand, pats you on the back, says, "Hey, good job on that." All this stuff, especially like work related, goes a long way. Make you feel welcomed, comfortable. Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, what do I not want to play no games about? It's been I feel like this year's Black History Month hasn't really been how it has been in the past. I feel like it didn't really get a lot of notoriety across like platforms or just like people in general. I know really we didn't really do much at my school that I work at. Just like, so not feeling like, I feel like maybe this year as a whole, like a lot of holidays won't really be celebrated how they used to. And so like I want to play no games about like what's your thoughts on just like holidays, man, like in the idea of celebrating them anymore. Like people tired of seeing their family because they was cooped up with them forever or something. Like
Maybe. I don't know, man. I feel like the older I get now, the more like holidays just kind of come and go. Like growing up in like a Romanian house, Christmas is a huge thing. Because we're very strong Eastern Orthodox. We love Christmas, all this stuff. But it's just like, I don't know, it just doesn't have that same charm it has as a kid. And I think that's just part of like growing up. But I don't know, kind of, Roz, how do you feel about that? Do you kind of notice that?
Yeah, I agree. This year, Christmas, I was just in Eugene with my fiance Selena, and that was Christmas, opening presents. I had my little brother and some families come and visit, but that was about it. But yeah, I agree. New Year's this year, barely did anything. Move forward, Valentine's Day, stuff like that. I didn't really see anything in stores or promotions, and then Black History Month. I didn't see anything in general. I feel like I see. I'm not on social media, so I don't see that much. Maybe they promote more on there, but usually in sports or stuff like that, it's definitely shown more, I feel like, or at least try to be promoted a little more.
Yeah, definitely.
Even like with athletic brands, like normally Nike, Adidas does something, they reach out, they make like products or t-shirts or something. I think a lot of it has to do with like COVID and like supply chain issues on top of like events being canceled. That might be why like holidays have kind of lost a little bit of that glamour, and why we're not seeing it as much in the stores, on TV, at like events and stuff, maybe. But hopefully, now that we're kind of we've beat COVID. I shouldn't say that, but as the world is getting back to March 12th, no more masks in Portland.
Oh my God.
In some states, they never put a mask on.
You're damn right.
COVID never existed.
Never existed, yeah, dude. But hopefully, like we kind of get a little bit back to like normal.
I think we just didn't post enough black squares. That's why Black History Month wasn't the same. There wasn't enough solidarity.
Mm.
But actually, I actually agree with all of you guys' takes on that. But I would just say, and my only small rant, and then we can get on with talking more about with our guests and all the things that he does, is when it comes to like Black History Month for me, to me, Black History Month is every day.
Absolutely.
It's literally American history. But one of the things that I actually was getting into this conversation with someone because they were like, this Black person was like, we shouldn't do Black History Month anymore, and rada 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 rada.
I've heard that argument. Yeah.
I don't think it was Nelson Mandela, but what's the guy supposed to look like him? Morgan Freeman. There we go.
Oh.
What?
Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman said that. And I guess for me, it's like, I hear what you're saying, like it's American history, I get it, but like I just find it very interesting that people don't like spotlighting things. Just going back to what I originally said, where it's kind of like, yeah, we all matter. There's the all life matter thing, but like it's okay to big up, like it's fucking 4th of July. Like, let's turn up. Like, it's his 4th of July's moment. Like, just think of the kids at the birthday party being like, oh, well, it's a happy birthday. Well, we all have birthdays, little Timmy. And I'm just kind of like, don't be a dick. It's his moment. It's hers moment. And I just find people just like I think it's International Women's Week just started this month. And then I know Pride Month and stuff is coming up where I'm like, let them just have their moments. Like, we'll get a turn.
Yeah.
But it's every day, all day. But that's it on that. But anywho, Koss, would you like to assume the mantle?
Yeah. So I'll leave it up to the crowd. What would you guys like our first topic to be?
Okay, let's do this. So, please tell us more about you. Obviously, I know you're into and you do like electrical engineering, right?
I do machining right now, but I'm like a student. I'm enrolled for like software development.
So please tell us more about that because it's a rarity to have you on. Literally, because we all we make fun of the number crunchers, but y'all got the real cash. So how'd you get interested in that?
I've always liked tech. I jumped around with possible careers my whole life. So right now I'm doing software and I'm loving it, and it's something I could see myself doing for the rest of my life. I first started off wanting to get into a medical school thanks to my immigrant parents.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did all the prereqs, everything. I'm ready to enroll. And it just hit me in the face. Like, I don't think you can do this for 60 years. You're going to tap out at some point or something.
Yeah.
And my fiance, she's an ER nurse, and I can't do a quarter of the things she does. She's just a superhuman.
Sal's a boss. Yeah.
She's brings in people on helicopters, people heart attacks, open up their chest, everything. And I'm like, I just, binge watched the Tinder Swindler today, yes. Good for, and she's just, I can't, I'm happy I didn't do it, but that just helped me, and that was just my journey to getting me here into software development, which I look forward to actually doing.
Where do you see tech going? Because we're seeing a lot of AI
everywhere.
It's going to be everywhere. Everything.
Everything.
It's
already, in a sense, we don't realize tech in a sort of way of just normal applications, microwaves, our phones. How do we get into houses? Without electricity, a computer in most of our devices nowadays, they don't work. They're useless. Tech's amazing, but only when it works. Once your car is not working, your phone's glitching out, microwave's busted right when you need it, tech's terrible. But right now, everything you're using is tech, and it's just going to continue to progress that way. In a sense, your projects, the dating app and whatnot.
Oh.
You guys are intertwining relationships and human interaction with tech. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a whole new
Yeah.
perspective of humanity and how we
It's the norm now.
it's the norm.
Who
on
goes-
how we
who goes to a
interact.
grocery
We
store
take
anymore?
the animal kingdom and how we interact with everything. And now in the last 10 years, maybe, I mean, I don't know when the first dating app came out. Let's say 20 years. Just last 20 years of like civilization, we are now accustomed or told it's normal to just stare at our phone and now try to matchmake and interact in this way of in front of a screen, telling ourselves this is the dating, like this is human interaction. You know what I mean? Like it's and I love your dating app, and I love. No, I appreciate, but I'm just saying it's really interesting, and I'm just trying to bring my point around to how like even dating, and then you can if we can do dating where I found my wife, which is amazing. She might have lived in a different state, but I met her. If we can do that, then I think we can mix in anything with tech.
Interesting.
That's true.
So like, do you feel like tech has gone too far, or do you feel like it's gone in a way that can be real beneficial to society?
Both. It's gone too far, and there's no stopping it. So at this point, you have to just cut out what you don't like, accept what you do like, and accept that there's more stuff to come.
Do you think there was a sweet point in human history where it was like perfect balance between tech and human interaction? Because I've thought about this, and I have a year, even a month, maybe.
Okay.
I think 2012, 2013.
Ooh,
like
okay.
What my guess would be. I don't know. After
Mhm.
like a couple of the iPhones and
Mhm.
Androids came out, I think everyone was chilling to the point to where we weren't always on our phones, to where enjoying a concert turned into recording a concert, and then enjoying a meal turned into taking a picture of a meal and moving forward and so forth.
That's really good. I actually think it's more like 2003, 2004, before smartphones, where like you had a flip phone. If you needed to call someone, you could. But if I wanted to go, if we wanted to hang out, hey, I could go to your house and we'll play PS3 or PS2, whatever it was at the time. And that was that. I didn't have to hop online, waiting for you to hop on. Don't have to leave my house. I don't have the entire planet on my phone. I can't cheat on all my homework just using this. Like you actually had to study. You had to understand stuff. Yeah.
So like, I think I have to agree more to 2012 kind of era. Like, no, don't get me wrong. Like for me, that was a dope era too. Like just the idea of that human real interaction.
Mm-hmm.
But I think nowadays they have this sweetness to be able to be like, oh, I'm going to talk to somebody in Japan today. And we can have this conversation of what it's like, what is actually going on in Japan right now, or what is actually going on in Ukraine right now. Now I can see from you as an individual, which I think is pieces of dopeness to an extent, but I think it gets carried away and we take it out of control to be able to like, look what I'm doing, instead of actually using it for like the positivity that can really show impact in society and say like, no, this is actually what's going on culturally.
Yeah.
This is how you actually celebrate such and such. Cinco de Mayo wasn't this. This is what Cinco de Mayo really was. You know what I'm saying? And be able to really give you history and give you like that tutorial culturally.
Wow. This is it's very stimulating conversation because like how he broke it down, I was like, damn. This is on me. I'm a monster. I have a question for the group, but starting with you, where it's kind of like, I feel like we're at the brink of like iRobot, where it's like the goddamn robots, God. Like we're very close to that fucking moment. But I want to ask you because I've always been like really weary when it comes to certain tech, and for example, like Ring, the whole like Siri thing, connected things like that. Do you have an opinion or take about homeowners or people who want security? Is it okay to put that information or, the home locks? Because I've heard so many horror stories of people like, oh, now I know how to do the coding. Now I'm in your car
Mhm.
and things like that. Is there any safe tech when it comes to that?
I mean, there's a lot of ways you can think about this. One of the ways is like, I mean, we go like, I don't want them to know what my fingerprint looks like. I don't want to know where I am, what I'm doing. But then you take your phone out, take a picture on Snapchat. Hey, bro, I'm at the carnival. They know. Do I want this home security to know, or do I want Snapchat to know? It's just up to you.
But they always know.
They always know.
So don't get a ring.
You can get a ring. I think rings are cool. I was considering getting one in Eugene just because, like, bicycle theft is insane there, bro.
They do have bicycle
Absolutely.
chops.
They'll steal your bicycle before your Rolls Royce in front of your house, dude. That's what it's like over there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm gonna defend a ring. I have a ring. It's good. I don't like that. Like if someone walks by and makes that stupid jingling sound, like ding, whatever. But it's good because they'll post like there's a neighborhood feed and it'll post like, hey, someone tried my car door. Da 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 da. Make sure you park your car in the garage. Or hey, like there's someone going around knocking on garage doors. Like it's good
So
for like
it's the new version of Neighborhood Watch.
yeah, it's like a new neighborhood watch. Yeah. And then you also have like 24-hour security in front of your door, which I like it for that purpose. I think it's good.
But what about like the ability to hack those? Right.
Yeah.
Especially with modern technology and the ability of hacking and stuff like that. Like
Okay, so like the ring I have is just like the doorbell. I don't have anything that connects like my lock system. So I can't open my door from my phone. I would not want that. I'll say that. I would not want that. Mine is literally just the doorbell, and it's a doorbell with a camera. You click it, and it's like a normal doorbell, but it's a lot of people don't realize there's a camera there. That's all it does. So I like it to an extent, I guess. I don't know
like
if there
the
is a
ring.
locking system. There might be.
so, like you were talking about like tech telling on you and stuff like that. I was in a group chat I have on Instagram. Somebody posted a TikTok dude who got arrested because of his shoes being recognized in a murder or something like that.
Wow.
And so it's like this whole idea you're talking about location and location, but nowadays you're telling on yourself 90% of the time. You don't even have to do the work of like being a police officer and all that. Like it's oh yeah, look at me, and you see somebody shooting in the background and they get a full-fledged picture of who's shooting, and now it's oh yeah, thanks. So-and-so arrested. Like
Dispatch on the way.
yep. You know,
Yeah.
so go ahead.
I think it's like to the point where even if you have your phone on, they know where you are. Don't quote me because I don't know if that's actual stuff they'll say is true.
Allegedly.
But you know, if your phone's on, Snapchat's on, that location's on, locations in general are on, they can see that a phone was in the area. They might not be able to pinpoint that was you in that exact spot, but then they'll start looking for ways to pinpoint you.
Yeah.
In that.
I
Oh,
mean-
you were in that area. Let's do some more digging.
Think about it this way. They got Al Pacino back in like the 50s because he was talking on a phone. They wired a phone in the 50s. What do you think they can do now?
Absolutely. I got it's crazy. My coworker's husband, he does
Al Capone.
like spies, not spy. What do you call it?
Oh,
Where he like
cybersecurity?
like cybersecurity,
Okay.
Yeah.
and he like hacks and stuff all the
Yeah.
time. Like he hacked into the FBI at one point, and like
Dry
I hope he was,
snitching?
I hope he was
And
hiding
no,
his
like-
CPI address.
but it was like for a job.
Oh,
And,
okay.
like, next thing you know, he was like, "Oh, the FBI has been watching you for 2 weeks," and he didn't know. Like so it's like like you're saying, like if they can get Al Capone on a cell phone in
Oh,
the
yeah.
50s, like nowadays, and they'll pull up on you, you don't even recognize that they pulled up on you.
We're gonna end this debate right now. All right.
Okay.
Who steals your information less? Is it Android/Galaxy, the best product out there,
Oh,
or
no.
iPhone?
He's an Android guy too, so
I'm an Android guy. I haven't looked too much into. I remember seeing a headline like that where it's like Apple had that thing where they didn't like, what was it? You guys know?
Oh, the new update. Yeah. So now I actually like Apple for this. Anytime I download any app or anything, it'll ask me, "Do I want this app to track my data?" And I can say no, and I always click no. Don't track my data.
I feel like Android did that from the get go, where it asked, "Do you want permission, contact info?"
Hey, Chief Kelsey over here. Hey. And I want you to know, you know how many times iPhone has lied to all of you?
Dude, it's a company. Everyone lies.
Oh, at least Android's up front with it. They're like, look here. They broke into Google. Y'all information ain't safe, but we gonna work on it. But iPhone, this is the
Whatever, man.
greatest
Go post a
phone.
Snapchat. Let's see what like the 480p looks like.
The joke is up. It's wide left. No good. No good, folks. Anywho,
But I mean, it for a company like a company like Apple, they do the Big Brother thing where they just take it from you and purchase it, and this is mine now. You can't use it, and that's how they get better quality stuff because they put it on their platform and only their platform.
These aren't Sorry, go ahead.
Android's like open market. Like if you want it, come get it. It's not even our company. We just promote it, or we're gonna
It's a free market.
help whatever person want to use this, use it. And I think that's the difference. I think, and that's the I think the respect piece for me. Why I prefer that over someone who's just going to step on people's face and say, "Oh, I'll buy that from you. Here, take it. We're going to add it on our new iPhone that's the same as last year's, but we have 2 new apps."
To go off that, it's like you could say these aren't even the products. We're the product at this point. This is just the stepping stone to sell us our
That's
info
deep.
and stuff, like you
That's
said.
deep.
This is our second brand.
That's the gateway.
This has all our memories.
And
This
then
has everything on it.
The meta world is that whole idea, the concept of the
Metaverse.
meta world?
We have an interesting opinion on the metaverse.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Tap into that. Let's go.
So
Why not?
So my hate for the metaverse started really when I saw people like Khabib getting involved with the metaverse. Did you guys see that?
no.
So you guys know like Khabib Nurmagomedov, UFC legend, whatever. He had a fight with Max Holloway in the metaverse.
Huh?
And they had like Daniel Cormier and Islam Makhachev like commenting it, and it's just the stupidest thing. All they were playing was like a VR game, like Creed, something like the boxing game on VR chat.
Not even the good boxing.
It's not even the good boxing game, and it's just like that was like the metaverse. It's
Metaverse is some of the bad tech you guys wanted to know about.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Speak on it.
I just think it's a pyramid scheme from the bottom to the top, from Bitcoin to NFTs, and then here's the metaverse. It's everything is I mean, think about it. Bitcoin, NFTs, it works. You make money. That's not a joke. People make money and stuff. But how do you make money off Bitcoin and NFTs? Hey guys, buy Bitcoin tomorrow. And then what do you guys do? Hey, go to your friends. Hey guys, buy Bitcoin. That's an MLM type scheme, right?
No, yeah,
there.
exactly, yeah.
That's how it is. And then same with the NFTs. Oh, I bought this NFT for 40 grand. I just have to find some sucker that's going to buy it for 80.
Because he thinks he can sell for 100.
Yeah, because he thinks he can sell for 100. If that works and you pull that off, I mean, it works. I mean, it definitely works. But if it's a way of like, it's not like stocks where there's the government's behind it, taxes are involved.
There's a value behind it too. You actually own part of the company. If you own enough stocks, you become a shareholder. It's like, Amway is a pyramid scheme. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. Pyramid schemes work. And NFTs and cryptos are pyramid schemes
I'm just going
for the general public.
I'm just going to smack you in the face, truly, because most companies in the world are pyramid schemes. When you think about it, you have one CEO who runs the company, and most of the time does less work than everyone else in the business. He's just the face and gets paid the most money. So like when you break most businesses down nowadays, I mean, look at businesses like Tesla and Amazon and stuff like that. Who's actually doing the work behind a lot of these companies? Not the dude sitting up top. They out here blowing the money on whatever the hell they want to do. So it's like, yes, I'm not banking on Amway. They're a straight pyramid scheme, but like most businesses are, especially nowadays, because you got to have somebody run something. So, for example, like most companies are a person, right? Like they're not an entity, they're a person, and people forget that. So like when you buy Nike, it's like an individual. It's not the actual brand, and people forget it. Like, so yeah, kind of to jump my segue out the way. So
Hey, one day I won't be. I'm gonna be doing that shit. Pyramid schemes, damn right. Here. Eating steak on y'all. No, it's playing. No. I appreciate this conversation about the metaverse and all the other stuff because I like the skepticism where it's kind of like it's just a lot. Like that was just a lot because I think I'm more to the point of like I like how technology is like right now. Like I don't want it to go any further than what it is. Like it's totally fine right now. And like I think I just want to pick up on a point that you were kind of talking about before. And it's literally just like we get all this power in this phone, right? And shout out to Uncle Ben. Great power comes great responsibility. And literally, I just see people mishandling this all the time.
Mhm.
And it's kind of like, maybe we shouldn't have all this like power inside our hands because we'll just break it down to this and I'll end on this point, or at least for me. It's like people watch trash TV and then they don't know the three branches of government and then get upset when someone's like, you don't know the three branches of government. And I'm just kind of like, if you pulled out your phone, judicial, executive, and I'm forgetting, and then legislative. There we go.
Legislative.
I butcher words, but I got the three. Anywho, I'm just saying, it's just kind of like, it just makes us as humans, I feel like lazy. And like, I'm just kind of like, no, I don't know what you just said. I got to fact check that. Why can't we have the responsibility to like seek out knowledge? I feel like it's just killed. So that's my whole bit and rant on that. But
have you ever seen the movie Idiocracy? I think that's where our society's moving towards. It's a really stupid movie. It's a comedy actually, but where this guy gets put into the future, but it turns out the future is like everyone's an idiot. Everyone just like sits in front of a TV, eats like fast food, and watches like just trash TV, where like humans can't even like interact, like have like talk normally, and all this stuff. And it's like it's like a dumb like stoner kind of mid 2000s movie. So it's like, but then you think about the concept, you're like, you know what? Like our society is getting closer to that. Like we are just becoming a planet of idiots.
And it's crazy that we've put out technology in early eras of movies and stuff that talked about what we're in.
Oh yeah.
To this moment, like the book 1984, which was written in the 50s, talking about 1984 and Big Brother watching, right?
Yep.
Which has been something that we've been talking about since 2000. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we have all these different concepts. iRobot, Wall-E. You know what I'm saying? Like these are like little stories that have been told constantly. And when you look around and you really see what's going on, you're like, we are literally headed to Wall-E right now.
Yeah.
We're like spaceships sending people to space to do what? To be on their phone and look at each other and do whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
garbage planets.
Look at look at the planet. Look at the planet that we're on right now. They literally have islands that are made from just garbage. So it's like we are telling our own future, and we're not even realizing that. And it's like this idea with technology, man. Like we can get so lost in it and caught up in it. So
you're a therapist, right? Cassian told me. No.
Yeah, Rob.
Yeah,
Rob
I
is.
do that, yeah. I do therapy. Yeah.
Okay. Do you ever like recommend people to take a break from social media, or
wow, that's a really good question.
Or think sometimes their cause of like anxiety or depression might be social media derived? Are those like questions you ever like ask?
Well, no one's ever asked me that question, and then I will just say to that, no. I would just say, like, we'll just say this: when I'm like assessing a person, I look at them in a very holistic, and we'll just say their biggest, we'll say anxiety or fear was social media. We would talk about, that and what it would look like in those steps. So I'll say no to that.
Okay. I was just curious because Kasi told me some of your profession, and I was just curious.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm making it look good, Robert.
Hey, I think we all make each other look good. And just
Respect.
quick side note, viewers, if you haven't seen Encanto, you should definitely watch it. I think it's a Pixar Disney movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
You were just talking about Wall-E and like
Mhm.
speaking that it's talking about like generational trauma. I obviously from a Latino background, things like that, but it's talking about how families should work through family trauma, and it's actually a really good telling story that I really wish I would, in my opinion, I would include it in the 90s like group of like shows of like talking about just being empowerment and speaking to that Wall-E point of like telling a story about how that works. But that was a quick sidebar I want everyone to know.
Go
Unless
ahead.
you have some.
Yeah, so I have another like tech question. Oh,
Mhm.
dang it. Oh,
Oh, come on, it's there.
You gotta be quick with it.
maybe not. You had to come back to me because I had it, and then we started talking about other things. Went into a different direction.
Yeah.
Oh, so you talked about how you're not really on social media and stuff like that. Like in that process of doing like software engineering, do you ever like tell people to take a tech break?
All the time. I've told him, I've told my fiance, friends. I think everyone should take a tech break, whether it's just not opening the app. I did a 1 month thing where I deleted everything off my phone, and for 1 month I had no applications, and he would have to call or text me, or I was just like, this is my life. I might last a day, I'm going for a month. I think I did like just under a month, a few days, because I'm like, I want to do plans, and we have a group chat through Snapchat. And ever since, I haven't really re-downloaded stuff. I re-downloaded Snapchat because we have a group chat, and that's literally
Mhm.
the only thing I use Snapchat for. But then other than that, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. I have a Facebook account now, but just because of my Oculus, it made me make a Facebook account.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
so
That's how they get you.
that is how they get you.
Can't suck the zuck.
But other than that, it's kind of like I listen to podcasts, you guys, and
other ones.
audiobooks, and other than that, I try to be off my phone. But like, I think everyone knows like how addicting it is to just whip it out. I'm not doing anything, so it's whip it out. There goes 20 TikToks, responded to text, sent texts out, saw some Twitter. Now I'm like, I have this opinion about something I've never even thought about in my life.
Oh.
And like,
Yeah.
now I'm like a little amped up, or I'm a little sad now for absolutely no reason.
Mm.
And then an hour or two passes, repeated all over. Oh, now I'm mad about this. Oh, look at this. This girl's twerking. This guy. Here's 3 missed dunks from the dunk contest. And it's just
Shots fired.
It's
Yeah.
just like, and that's your day, And then
That's your whole
you
day.
think, what did I do today? And you like, it was just on that screen, but you can never recall what you looked at.
Yeah, it's gone like that. Yeah.
That's so real.
That's
And
so
it's-
real.
It's so crazy because like at a high school, I work at a high school, and they're nothing but TikToks all
Mhm.
day, every
I
day,
bet.
and it like they're walking through the halls just doing this all day, and I'm like, you probably don't even know half the shit you just looked at, and like one of our biggest complaints is like you can't even sit in class for 30 minutes, but you can sit on your phone for 30 minutes.
Mhm.
I said, why don't you sit in class on your phone for 30 minutes? At least you can get half of what you might understand in the classroom. So like what you're saying, and it's crazy because we don't even get that opportunity to, like you're saying, we have to speak to our kids about tech breaks. Like, no, cut this off.
Yeah.
You don't even, no, you didn't even get a phone call. No, cut it off. Like, I'm going to give you 3 hours of this off and see what you do with it.
Mhm.
And a lot of times they go crazy.
Yeah.
Like, they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Do that again. I would love to zoom in on that, but I can't.
Yeah.
Damn you. Damn
No, that's
you,
dope.
Robert.
That's a dope perspective because like I started doing my own tech breaks because I noticed I started going to the black hole of Instagram. and so like I'll literally like put no notifications on. I'll lock it, and I'll keep it off for a week. And so like,
yeah, I personally, like, on weekends, I no longer watch people's stories. I notice myself. It's something really weird. I notice myself, like, if I like on my weekend, I would watch what other people are doing, and I'd always compare myself to like what they're doing, and it always just like made me feel shitty. So like now, I just don't on weekends. I don't even look at people's story. Like I just live my life.
And these are the people I decided to build a brand with. Literally. Do y'all understand the pain I have just hearing this? I take breaks. I take breaks for the weekend. Y'all know this money don't sleep, right? And the money we trying to get, we gotta get bags. I have bags under my eyes.
there's other ways to get money than to be on social media all day.
Oh, I challenge you both. When you're taking your social media breaks, please bring those back when you come back. I'll take
Connections.
I'll mail people info.
that.
Where were we? Where were we at last week?
Hmm?
Where were we at last week?
Huh? Shut the. Yeah. Hey, you know what? You're right. You're right. I will actually let me do this. Let me. AJ, you were right. You were very helpful last week. I, Robert, was ignorant to the help that you could help, even though it's a double negative. Anywho, thank you, AJ.
You don't need social media, man, to be successful.
You're
And
right.
that is the biggest thing that you got to understand, because success without social media is more success than with social media. People don't understand that social media is supposed to enhance the success that you already have,
Yeah.
not make you who you are. And that's the biggest thing I think people lose track of. I want to be TikTok famous, but those people that become TikTok famous, they're dancing before TikTok most of the time, or they know how to dance. They just promote themselves through TikTok. But again, they know how to dance. They just use that platform just to promote themselves in a manner of being who they are. So be who you are outside of the social media, because that's what's going to make you excel further than the social media will any day.
That's why we're just putting the cameras in all this. We're dope. See, look, wow. But at this moment in time, as we turn down the funny and we get more serious, once again, I just want to state that my friends we have this crazy scheme to, be prominent, they don't do social media, but I still love them. Anywho, and our show's on social media, but that's not here or there. But on a serious note, this is a serious topic. Is currently, I want to say this: the opinions of people on this show now. Doesn't reflect. Let me stop.
I was waiting for something big. I was
No,
like,
I was being. We talk about George Floyd on here. We're good. Anywho, I just want to say before we get into this conversation that currently, right now, not that this war is the only war that's going on, but we're going to be talking about Russia and Ukraine. And obviously, we all have opinions here, and we're going to do our best job to kind of figure out what's going on. And we have people on the show who are affected by what's going on. And we definitely want to give them their space and their knowledge to, get some firsthand information, maybe that is not being circulated on social media. So at this point in time, we kind of want to open that up, and I kind of want to pass that to Koss, and I'll let you do your thing.
Yeah, so just preface this real quick. I'm going to keep this short because, I could go on hours talking about the history here. There's like thousands of years of history. Just going to keep it super short. So, as some of you, may know, Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union at one point. Once the Soviet Union fell around 1990, 1991, Ukraine, as well as other nations, became their own nation. Belarus became their own nation. Estonia, Lithuania, Latvia, where Porzingis is from, Georgia, Kazakhstan, all those became their own nations. Russia was still there, though. As time, Russia, they gave them their freedom, but they always thought, they're always going to be on our side no matter what. Anyways, we're still the big brother. We're still giving them economic benefits. We're doing all this. We're doing all that. Well, as time moves on, as society moves on, as politicians come and go, people change, countries change, ideology changes. Ukraine is in a situation now where they kind of see themselves a lot different than what they were in the 90s under the Soviet Union. And a lot of this has to do with the current president, Zelensky. He is pro-Ukrainian. Previous president was pro-Russian, even though he was a Ukrainian. president. Also, want to preface: Ukraine is a very diverse country. East part of Ukraine, they only speak Russian. All the signs on the street are Russian, and that's mainly because that part was part of Russia until eventually broke off and they redesigned the map and drew lines. Because everyone knows where you draw a line isn't necessarily where people belong.
Yeah.
Even if you look at the southwest part of the country, in Bukovina, all they speak is Romanian. All the signs are in Romanian. I know people from there that I'm good friends with that are Ukrainian, but they can't speak Ukrainian. So taking that into consideration, that is why right now Russia initially started this war for the eastern part of the country, the Donbas region, which is where Donetsk is. Donetsk is a big provider of coal mines as well as natural gas. Russia wants that because the people there are technically Russian, quote unquote. They want that land. They believe Russia deserves that land. Ukraine doesn't want to give that land up because it is Ukrainian land. If they give that up, how much more will Russia take? Everyone thought that was just what the war is going to be. But Russia started invading the country. They used Belarus, again, their own country, but they side with Russia. They stayed siding with Russia because their president is very pro-Russian, Lukashenko. So they used the route through Belarus, which is a lot closer to the capital, Kyiv, to break into Ukraine. And now they are invading the capital city of Kyiv, which is a very pro-Ukrainian place. I want to preface that. As I said, the country is diverse. Kyiv, which is like a lot of the central country, as well as the western country, very, very Ukrainian, and that's where like the big cities are. So right now they're invading Ukraine, and what we see right now is Ukraine kind of, holding their ground, trying to fight off the Russians as much as they can. And I get a lot of people asking, okay, why aren't other countries getting involved? That's where it gets a little complicated. So Ukraine is not part of NATO. Do you guys know what NATO is? Yeah. So anyone listening, NATO was created to originally it was created in the 80s or the 70s to fight the Soviet Union. They created an allegiance of countries. Ukraine is not part of NATO, but they did want to join NATO, and that's what scared Russia. Russia thought that was putting missiles on their front door. So that's why Putin was like, no, I'm taking what's mine. But that's why other NATO countries aren't getting involved right now, like Romania, like the UK, like Poland, Germany, USA. Because if they get involved, Russia's threatened to pretty much go all out.
Or you could say Putin's like, look here, I'm gonna take off this shirt and shoot him nuclear missile.
Yeah, he pretty much said if any country tries to intervene, they will see destruction like they never have before.
You won't be fucking around with that shit.
Yeah. So right now, that's what we're seeing. Ukraine holding them off. I don't know. There's a best case scenario. There's a worst case scenario. I don't know where you draw the line in that situation. I see the patriotism going on, and I love it. I put on my story there's a bunch of the Klitschko brothers. If anyone watches boxing, you know the Klitschko brothers. They're Hall of Famers. They're absolute legends. One of the brothers, the older one, is a mayor of Kyiv. He stayed. He's fighting. His brother stayed. He's fighting. So the Klitschko brothers are legends. Then you have the current world heavyweight champion, Usyk, who's Ukrainian, was in England, left England to fight the war in Ukraine. You have Lomachenko, who's the current champ, left his vacation in Greece, go fight for his country in Ukraine. So you're seeing these guys who are all multi-millionaires just going home to fight for their home. And I think it's something really nice to see, this level of patriotism we don't really see in today's world, I feel like.
So I recently seen a tennis player also who advanced in the tennis, and he signed the camera how they do a signature thing.
Yeah, he's actually a Russian player.
Yeah. He was right. He said in the war.
Yeah.
Bring peace or something like that. Bring peace to the war or something like that.
Yeah. So that's the most fucked up part too, where you look at it and it's Russian civilians, for example, there's protests in St. Petersburg, and props to those people protesting, because it's not like here, when you protest. If you protest there, you get thrown in prison, you might get executed. There's no rules at that point. So for them to go out and protest in their home saying we as Russians don't want this war is a big deal. And most Russians, I believe, don't want this war. I think the ones that do are maybe the older generations, the one that fantasize about, what Russia used to be during the Soviet Union, the real nationalists. I think that's the civilians that want the war, but I think that's the minority. I think majority of even Russian citizens don't want this war, because if you look at it, it's ruining the economy of Russia. And that's really what the US and Britain is trying to do now. They're cutting them off. Germany too. They're cutting off the gas, because most of Europe gets its natural gas from Russia, from a company called Gazprom. They're cutting off natural reserves, which is going to hurt Europe too. But Europe is willing to take the economic, struggle it's going to create to help Ukraine in that way versus sending bombs Russia's way. So that's going to hurt because 90% of Russia's economy is natural gas. So if you cut that off and their only client is China, it's going to hurt the country economically. The ruble is the least valuable it's ever been. Just all that stuff. But that's kind of what the world is trying to do now: kill Russia from within. Which is, it's a shame for Russian civilians now because they've lived in an economic downturn for the past 5 years, and now it's just going to hit a great depression for that country. Yeah. Sorry, I was talking a lot. You guys can go say whatever.
We want to have a very informed place to start. Just to say, if you don't know, that's currently going on.
Mhm.
And thank you. That was eloquently put with history.
Mhm.
So no, but I know we were kind of talking pre-show that y'all have friends, family
Mhm.
that are we're all impacted, but they're directly impacted. And I
Yeah.
also say this too as well, where it's kind of like when 9/11 happened. I know all of Americans were we're hurt or impacted, but really spotlighting on the New Yorkers, it really impacted them.
Yeah.
And I just want to turn that to y'all because y'all have friends and family, and that I know that impacts you.
Yeah, it's really sad. I think it just, if anything, made me more appreciative of my life here and the sacrifice my parents made to come here. And I think recently I've just been, like I said, more relaxed, more carefree about things that usually would irritate me, like
I know what you're talking about.
car problems, or I'm going to McDonald's. They gave me a small. I ordered a medium. And then getting irritated about that. Yeah, I'm just trying to make a reference of just everyday stuff. I just don't think I'm just less agitated. More like there's a whole other side of the planet that's just way worse off than I am right now. So I'm just enjoying every minute, every day that I get. That's just my life here doing this. We're going to Vegas in a few days. Just when you put it in perspective like that, I mean, how can you complain or be angry or, you fight with a loved one, you make up. It's just not worth it when you just think about life in general and how short it is and how any day it can just be taken away and it's out of your hands and you can't do anything.
Or tomorrow the Russians can come and bomb your city. It's spot on. Just exactly what Roz was talking about. Being super grateful for sacrifice my parents made to bring me and my sister here, as well as little things going by. I had a small little argument with my mom. I didn't let it go past an hour. I was like, you know what, this isn't worth it. Made up and all well, but just not letting little stuff bother me as much because just every time I look on Twitter, turn on the TV, my parents watch Romanian news, so it's 24/7, just bombs, bomb, just on the TV. I'm laughing about it now because I see it 24/7, but that's what you have one head talking, another one in the middle, a frame of just bombs, and then another head on the corner, and it's like, what are we doing? It's 24/7. So
do y'all remember Meet the Parents, and he was on the plane? She was like, bomb, 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 bomb. She's like, sir, can you please? But or do you have something? Because I have something I want to kick to them.
Go ahead, and then I'll say something.
All right. I know tons of people. I've probably asked you this, so I hate to be this person to ask, but for the people that that are over there, have you had any direct communication with them, and do you feel comfortable sharing with their perspective of what's going on? Because I have another question after AJ, because about news and media about the coverage of it, but do you guys feel comfortable talking about if you've been in contact with anyone over there currently experiencing the war?
Not me directly there. I have, like I said, my grandmother that is thankfully in the UK right now. So I think she's just going to extend her visa there and just stay with my aunt.
That's good. I have both of my aunts, both of my grandmas, both my cousins are in Romania. Luckily, they're on the west side of the country, which is fairly far away. They're not too worried. Day-to-day life, you know, you gotta. It's one of those things you just kind of have to go on with your day. You have to go to work. You can, you know, because everyone is. But luckily, Romania is part of NATO. That's one of the things I'm happy about. So if something does happen, then by law, because of the agreement, all the other NATO countries have to get involved. So if Russia gets into Romania or into Hungary or Bulgaria or any one of those, then the U.S., the U.K., Germany, all these countries, France, they all have to get involved. Then, which that would be the big kaboom. We see what happens then. Unfortunately.
Muhammad Ali. They could be like, Rob, it's time to fight. I'm gonna be like,
but yeah, that'd be something.
Yeah, I'll be like, let's go.
So my question to both of you guys is like, if you had an opportunity or like an expression of like final outcomes, like what would your goal be with this?
Like if I could say, okay, let's make a deal.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think Ukraine is leaving this without losing something. It's just how it is. I think, unfortunately, best case scenario, they give up the Donbass region, the eastern part of the country. Let's say it's probably like 20% of the country. Less than 20% of the country, but probably somewhere around 15% of the country. They give it up to Russia. They annex it to Russia like they did with the Crimea, when Crimea was annexed in 2014. And Russia leaves, and they leave the capital, they leave the other cities, and they rebuild. I think that's best case scenario. Worst case scenario, I think the whole country could be lost.
I agree with him with the worst thing. Best case scenario. I mean, I wish I could just say things go back to how they were and just kind of brush it over, but you just have victims on both sides. So punishing one side, you're punishing those who don't deserve it, and then those who do deserve it, they're not getting punished enough. And that's kind of my best. If you want like best case scenario, that's kind of what I would hope for. But I don't know. I'm not a politician. I don't know the details on what would help everyone and what they need and stuff. But that's just what I'm hoping for. Nothing too drastic, too long-term damaging happens in the near future.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. This one might be a little left field for best case scenario, but maybe, people turn on Putin. He loses power. It happened in Romania with Ceausescu. The people turned on him, executed him.
You see that nigga on the horse here? Oh, he got a poison tester. I know he's got 3 people. Taste this steak.
Yeah.
Eyes cool.
Yeah.
He ain't messing that. He gonna have to die.
Somebody gonna have to.
Yeah.
My like side comments. I don't get how some of these dictators like live. Like I know there's got to be snipers that can shoot some of these people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he don't. Everybody wake up in the morning in some way, some fashion. Like he can't be bulletproof protected year round. You know what I'm saying?
He probably sleeps like a rock every night. I don't think he's that way.
No.
I think he just goes about his day, does what he wants, starts a war today, goes. I think he
does a judo toss.
I think he does judo, gets in a workout.
He thinks he's like a god. Like he genuinely believes he's not like a normal human. So I think he sleeps like a rock, and I don't think he's scared. I think he could catch a bullet. Probably is what he believes.
Did you see the World Taekwondo Organization?
No.
They took away Putin's black belt.
No.
That might be the title of the episode.
Oh, Putin loses black belt.
I gotta fact
That's a good one.
I think that's gonna be the title of the episode. That's actually really
that's a good
funny.
one.
I want to just respond to AJ before we kind of segue to our last segment before we shake a tail feather. Is, man, like, I feel you sometimes of like, man, like these people I get caught slipping, and then one day I played a game called Fire Emblem, and on Fire Emblem, like it like literally is like you have like these 10 dudes. They're like, man, the Black Knight, we gonna fuck with the Black Knight no matter what, and like you would speak dialogue logically like he killed your family, but it's power. And I feel like, and like because I eventually one day want to write manga, right, and a story, and like literally, I've actually ran into someone or people who just have this affinity of like, I just want to be around this person's influence. And like, I bring that into you, where it's kind of like, if someone has so much of a hold over somebody, right? Whether it's, I can, have control of your family, or just like where people, Kanye West is nowhere near Putin, but like, I hear so many stories of people being like, I just want to be in his presence, even though he fires all of his team immediately. So I feel like when you get that right amount of recipe, and I'm talking about your inner court of people that that I can influence this person to do whatever I want. Of course I can sleep like a rock.
Yeah.
Because he's a buffoon.
Yeah.
Because it's about manipulation. I don't want to diagnose the dude and say he's a narcissist, but like there are people who is like, I have an affinity for this. So that's why I think, but I don't know. That was just a little bit where I'm like, some of these goons, and I say they are A-class goons. I have a story I can't talk about on this podcast, but I know some D-class goons, but they just like, I follow this person. So
I totally believe
it. Man, I will say one really quick thing, and I need to do research on this myself, but like I was watching the Flavor 2 podcast, and they were kind of talking about the situation. They were talking about, and I wasn't able to double check, and when we have you back, maybe everything's resolved and we kind of talk about it. But I heard like a lot of the stories through the media were like really false. Like the tank going over the car, that didn't happen like that. The grandmother giving the flowers to the Soviet or Russian person.
Yeah.
They said that was staged.
Yeah.
The only thing that was double checked and fact checked, and I'm just going off blatantly with the podcast, is the not the Soviet, but the Ukrainian bomber. The
plane, the jet,
that's
the ghost of Kiev.
The ghost of Kiev. Yeah, I heard that story. But
yeah, that got fact checked. Yeah,
that's
fake.
That's fake too.
Yeah, it's fake.
Dang,
that was video from a video game.
Wow.
Yeah, which then for me immediately my mind was like, think about how many other like war stories were fake, but now like we can fact check all of them. That's immediately where my mind went up. I'm like, hey, that was a great story. I believed it. Look, the guy took out 6 fighter jets. Fuck yeah.
I did too.
That's crazy. That's crazy. You say that.
Yeah, I was like, think about all the other stories we grew up hearing. It ruins everything.
Well, think of those deep fakes, what CGI is like nowadays.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're pumping billions of dollars in the military and stuff, but you got to think what they can do with just a fraction of that money with just propaganda on both sides, what they're trying to emit to us.
Well, like on the Russian side, Russia's whole reason for invading is they think they're telling, the news is owned by the government. So they're telling everyone through the news that like, oh, Zelensky's like a believer in like Hitler and like Nazism, and like, Ukraine is becoming a Nazi nation and we have to stop it because, during the World War II, Russia was a hero for stopping the Nazis. And that's what like a lot of Russians still hang their hat on. So they're like propaganda. They're filling the population to like, make people be like, okay, yeah, Russia has to do this.
Should we?
Well, I will say, shout out to, Romania. Y'all.
Hey, Russia's never taken control of Romania. In our history, they've tried. And we've never let them take control of our country.
You know why?
Even during communism. Even there.
You know why? They got the black people there. Yeah.
We do now. Not back then, but we do now.
Well, y'all, it was like, the first, was it Duke was the very first NCAA double team that had black players, right?
Huh?
Was it Duke, right?
Duke?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
Now, well, anywho, fact checking, folks. But anyway, long story short. But yeah, I've seen what y'all, y'all taking us in.
Of course, we're taking the Nigerians, Ethiopians, all that.
Yeah,
why not?
Say?
Huh?
I was about to say, if we ain't gonna talk about it because it's a different time that's a different rabbit hole because we don't want to spotlight some other stuff. But
yeah, different time.
We see what Ukraine doing on them trains. We ain't interested now.
Uncalled for.
Romania, we fuck with y'all. We got an Allstar game there.
Whole bunch of kids. What happened? Kids.
You know, we have LeVar set it up. You know, he got connection with Lithuania. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god! All right, all right.
But segue. I want to cue in on this one last thing because I feel like in essence we really touched upon like everything this show stands for.
Mhm.
And the one last thing I would definitely want us to like really just sink our teeth in, you know, very briefly, doesn't have to be long, gentlemen, is our guy over here is on his is it 112 or Jacket Ass? See, first of all, was it Jacket Ass? Okay. So first of all, I know these so-called players wouldn't tell you this.
But I'm confused with what's going on.
Do you get the reference, Rose?
He's
I'm lost.
Oh,
he's engaged.
Oh, yes, I am.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Should we do first international players anthem?
No.
Okay. Anywho, you're engaged, and I heard you say that it was through a dating app, or was a
No, I was just using like a someone could possibly.
We're just gonna gloss over that. I didn't say that whatsoever. But you're engaged.
Yep.
And I'm just curious. I'm gonna say since you're Costa's friend, you're probably like 24, 25.
23.
Oh, okay.
He's about to be 24. Huh?
About to be 24.
So we'll just say this. A lot of people your age they might engage in a hot pocket or a video game, but they don't do that type of engagement.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
Well, it's just one of those things where when it clicks in your head and you meet the right person and you know, you got the key and it's going past lock 1, lock 2, lock 3, and then you got it
Locksmith
in,
lawyer.
turned it, door is open, and you just see your future and you can't see it with someone else. And that's just how I feel about her. She's just the greatest person I've ever met. I don't know what to say. It's just, it feels great being engaged. It feels great finding the right person. I don't know. It's just one of those things you just really cannot picture life without them anymore.
Now I have a question. Once you guys, because you did in Hawaii, which is a great call. Great. On the beach. Great call. Once you guys got back home to Eugene, did it feel different at all? Or was it just kind of like a relief thing?
We had this talk where there's definitely like something, like a little switch, something clicked, and now nothing like day to day or even like when you're long term anything's affected us, but it's just something's clicked, and it's kind of like that thing where it kind of sets in where you're like, okay, this is my person, and you don't think me anymore. It's always we. Everything, it's like, okay, this is our life now. Let's try to build it. You build each other up, use each other as motivation. You use life is just a we moment, constantly, just always trying to make each other happy. Or
yeah, I have a good example for that. You told me was like you guys are kind of looking possibly next year or so for like a car.
Yeah,
you're coming up. You kind of need a new car.
I mean, needs
a stretch. Whatever. The Golf is a legend. But you're looking more towards something that like you and Sal would get better use out of because you're both outdoorsy people. Versus, I know if it was you would just get a Golf R.
Yeah. I mean, you saw I pulled up with my fiance's car.
Yeah.
Because it made sense. She came to visit down here, so I was like, take my Golf. It can take the miles, and not that that's a big deal. I mean, anyone can do that. You and I could do that. Hey, borrow my car. So I'm not saying like, oh, what a big deal, or anything I said was, it's not that's not the point I'm trying to make. It's kind of just the whole perspective of my life and how it's been. I'm not saying like, oh, because you trade cars or you guys text goodnight or you have the same moments I have, it doesn't mean necessarily you're ready to be engaged or pop the question. There's just so many things to think about. It's a really big decision, and I realize at my age it's a little young for today's standard especially, but I don't know. I've just been through so much with her, and vice versa. We've known each other for like I think 6 years now,
See,
and
that was my question. I was
and
gonna ask.
it's I like to me 6 years. That's a quarter of my life. So I just moving forward. I like look forward to the next 60 with her. So
Damn, you trying to. Hope she listens to this.
In those in those moments of like for surety, right? Like for surety, for sure. Yes, 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 yes. Has there ever been like that moment where it's like, hold up, let me rethink that for sure? You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and I think in relationships people always talk about how it's like it's definitely a co-op thing,
Mm.
but I think sometimes with most problems in a relationship you can just look inward and realize that I'm not perfect, I'm grouchy, I'm this, she's not perfect. I can work on me trying to be the best me instead of her or your partner being better.
Mm.
And so when a problem arises, you can think, I could help this. You just don't think anymore of, I'm putting the blame. It's, how can we be better? How can, when something serious happens and serious stuff's gonna happen, where, and uncomfortable conversations come up where it's like, okay, this is inevitable. We have to have a talk. We have to, or like if it's a stepping stone in a relationship, we have to have a talk. Or maybe it's about moving in, maybe it's about finance, whatever it is. There's going to be like uncomfortable, but getting through that, it's just it's more of a make sure you're collected and you are ready. And instead of when things don't go your way, just like jumping, well, I was ready, I had this plan, why aren't you ready, why aren't you, because I'm here and you just need to catch up to me. Instead of like, I could have proposed in 5 years, I could have proposed today. I think the outcome would have been the same. I think everyone likes to think that. I mean, you don't go into, like, as much of a tech guy I am and like crunching numbers like you said and looking at probabilities and stuff. I don't think that applies to relationships and every single person where you go, the divorce rate is 50%. Okay, if you believe that, that's for you. That's not for me. If we're doing 50% and you believe that, that's you. I'm living my life. I'm not someone that backs away or ever thought I couldn't do something, or I'm being told what I can or can't do. And I'm saying this not from like ignorant, I'm gonna be fine, because you don't know what the future holds. But right now, like, my life's a 10, and I 10 moving like closer to 11. And I don't know, being engaged is great, but it's definitely something where I don't know, some people do need to wait longer, some people do it shorter, and like ask quicker. And it's, you have couples that have been together since they were 15 years old together. You have couples that met on an app, like I said, and it's whatever works for you in this crazy world. You just got to find someone that's going to take on the world with you.
Yeah.
I want to close things out and just say this. And what I want to say is I'm less worried about the people he hangs out with because he has you. I will say this. I've heard stories and you seem to be a rock. So let me just say that. So I feel happy because we have talks in that one. But because I just want to end on this. I just want to know your thoughts when it comes to men in our generation. We kind of talked about you being ready, right?
Mhm.
I was wondering if you can just very briefly just say a little bit more what's under that. What did you need? Because I know a lot of guys and a lot of men and males say that I gotta have 100K or I gotta have this business or I have to have that business. And I always tell those young men that you're afraid of building because building is a part of the process. Because sometimes building a kingdom with your person is way better than already having the kingdom built. So
It's deep.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would say to those people to stop looking at relationships financially. You don't look at school financially. You don't look at your relationship with your parents financially. If you want to go to college, you'll eat that debt. If you want to pursue and be happy with that person, you'll eat and you'll grind and you'll lose sleep and you'll do whatever to build that kingdom. Um, I think people nowadays are just really afraid of divorce, and divorce is really
Yeah.
messy and expensive.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people grew up with divorced parents,
Mhm.
and I think a lot of them kind of resent that and are too scared to like fully commit to it.
Yeah. My parents are divorced, and at first I thought that was gonna scare me off, but I don't know. Like I said, all the outside factors go away if you are secure with who you are as yourself and your partner, and you know.
And I think we've talked about this on a few episodes, but I think you've, for me, hit it home. And it's like the security in oneself, right? And at the end of the day, like being in a relationship, it's you and one other person. But if you're not secure with yourself, you'll never be secure with that other person because you don't even know what security in yourself looks like.
Yeah.
So I think that's huge. What you just said, man, is so huge. And I think a lot of people forget that. Like they want to challenge what their person's doing because they're not secure in their own life. And you've touched it and you said it multiple times, and that's what makes you happy. Is like, I know at the end of the day, I know where I'm standing on my feet, I know where I'm standing on my grounds, and I know where my wife is going to stand on her grounds.
Yeah.
And we're going to stand together. And
Yeah.
so I think for those that are listening and those that hear what this show is about, I think he's really, really tapped into that. And, it's a blessing, man, having you
No, I
on
really
here. I mean, it's
appreciate
great hearing
This
your
is
word.
like a fever dream being on the show. I listen to this every Wednesday at work, and I'm
He'll text me like, "Hey man, I like what you said there," whatever, and I'll forget what I said most of the time. Can I add something? What are we looking on time?
It's the only time is when the MacBook Pro is like, look at the memory.
Okay, it's
But no,
real.
You're good.
This has to do with like divorce and stuff. A little bit funny, a little bit toxic. If you guys want to stop listening because that was a really good point to end, feel free to stop listening. Give us a subscriber, give us a like, whatnot. If you want to stay for something a little toxic, be my guest. Welcome to Toxic Avenue with Koss.
I actually don't know where we're going.
You know where I left a note about this. Our good friend Johnny Bones Jones.
Oh.
And I bring this up because big UFC guys, me and Roz. Now, if you guys don't know, John Jones, fallen hero,
John Jones.
tweeted out this on the 23rd of February. Said, "My fiance left me about 2 months ago. Today, she finalized she won't be coming back. I'm assuming that means signing the divorce papers. If you are a John Jones hater, have a toast. I feel like shit." Now, you see, you read that and you say, man, that's tough, man. But then you got to remember, John Jones beat his wife. This is a man. This is John Jones. If you don't know John Jones is the greatest UFC fighter of all time. Taking all the I don't like the guy. Taking all the bias out. John Bones Jones is the greatest UFC fighter of all time. This guy walks around now he's a heavyweight. This guy walks around 260 pounds, has, small white woman wife, and used her as like a training bag, essentially, back around late last year. And I wanted to highlight this because I don't like John Jones putting that out, asking for sympathy when everyone knows what he did in that situation. And I'm happy that in the comments, everyone wrote like, congrats to her. You got to work on yourself, John. I just want to put that out there, highlight the world. If anyone else wants to add anything else. Speaking of divorce.
So like that's a crazy toxic flip, but ultimately, like, I think you bring up a good point though. Like some people take marriage. You can even reference Kanye, and make it about like the decisions that they make are just like secondary. You know what I'm saying? When like you're saying, that security with oneself, like if you would have recognized what myself or yourself was doing, you would understand this marriage wasn't going to last. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that toxic energy piece is like something that the individual brings toxicness to that relationship.
Oh yeah.
And I was having a conversation with actually some high school students about it who went through some stuff, and I was like, this kid is going through a lot, and you have to understand that. You have to recognize that as an individual, you're going through a lot. So what you project on your partner's going to feel everything that you're going through. So if you don't recognize that you're going through a lot, the one person you're going to take it out on is the one person you care about the most.
Yeah.
And you end up never realizing that you're abusing this person until that person walks away and says, you ruined me.
Yep.
And it's like, but they never realized that whole time it was really them projecting their own insecurities and their own fears and their own everything inside. So
yeah. In the case of John Jones, the way I put it is everything good that has happened to him, being the greatest fighter, all these championships, everything, all the money, but also everything bad that's ever happened to him is all at his own hands. And the second he realizes it, he looks in the mirror, realizes the greatness he can achieve, but also the just pure evil he is at heart. I know he is. Maybe you can finally move in the right direction and stop using religion as a crutch. Because I don't like that also about John. He uses religion way too much as a crutch. Like he punches an officer, then tweets out a Bible verse. I don't like that. But yeah, that would be my advice for Mr. Bones.
Well, I was sending out subliminal shots about y'all, but this is why I enjoy the both of y'all, because Koss was, I was like, but he was spin cycle. I was like, whoa, where are we going?
You felt bad for him at first, didn't you?
I was like, okay. And I was like, where are we going with this? And then I had to text a homeboy, let me know when he's done. And then AJ, I was like, AJ, he did what he did. And this is why I appreciate you guys, because y'all do what y'all do because you guys are all passionate about this. And I actually have zero things to say about this because I think you said it best. Well, I'm not gonna lie. Last week I was like, that was my favorite episode. I just think we're just getting really good at this, guys.
This was great.
This actually has been a dope-ass episode from tech to everything in between.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to say I appreciate all of y'all. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me. It was awesome.
yeah,
Have you back on, maybe?
I would love to.
Oh, yeah, please,
Hell yeah.
please.
absolutely got to have you back.
Oh,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Absolutely. Always.
Oh my
One,
God.
2, 3.
Absolutely. This is the greatest podcast in Portland. Like, comment, subscribe. We out.
Peace.
Probably wondering if I think of you. Sorry, I'm for the bag right now. Yeah, I'm for the bag right now. Yeah, for the bag that I never had. Yeah, you probably mad right now. Yeah, I got a 2-piece now. Shit, I think they call them groupies now.